P.Jayabharathi from St. Joseph College of Engineering, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today we are going to see about SLR parsing table creation in compiler design. For example, I am going to take some of the grammar for SLR parsing table creation. Construct SLR parsing table for the following grammar. Grammar is E tends to E plus T or T tends to T star F or F tends to E or ID. This is a given grammar. For this grammar, we have to find the SLR parsing table. First step, for this grammar, how to find the augmented grammar. That is the first step. Step 1, how to find augmented grammar. Augmented grammar in the sense, start symbol dash tends to start symbol. Here the start symbol is non-terminal E. So start symbol dash in the sense E dash. E dash tends to E. That's all. Or in augmented grammar, we have to add this one because of start. Our rules is start symbol dash tends to start symbol. So I am adding start symbol as E instead of E. E dash as the start symbol tends to start symbol E. Then remaining grammar we have to write. So given grammar E plus T, E tends to T, and then T tends to T star F, T tends to F, then F tends to E, F tends to ID. So we have to write the proper grammar line on line. Instead of E tends to E plus T, RT, I am separating the grammar into two. E tends to E plus T, then E tends to T. Likewise for T, T tends to T star F, then T tends to F. F tends to E R D. Instead of F tends to E R D, I am writing like F tends to E, then F tends to ID. That's all about your augmented grammar. After that, have to step 2 has to find the LR0 items. Find LR0 items. So LR0 item in the sense, for the grammar, in that grammar, each production. See, for example, in our first production, E dash tends to E. Here, for the right side of the production, beginning state, we have to mark it as a dot. I will write here, instead of E dash tends to dot E. Likewise for all the production, E tends to dot E plus T. E tends to dot T. T tends to dot T star F. And then T tends to dot F. Then F tends to dot E. Then F tends to dot ID. In the LR0 items, now I made like a right side of the production, beginning of the right side, beginning of the production, make it like a dot. That's it. Okay. So now consider this production as an I0 state, initial state. From that only I am going to find all the shifting moments. Will tell you. So first thing I0 state. Okay. Then have to find the go to statements. We'll write here, go to I naught state, comma. See, this is our I naught state, right? So, in this state, see the dot symbol, after dot, whatever the non-terminal or terminal is present, that should be shifted each time. So, here, first one dot, after dot, what should be present here? E is there. So, I am going to move that one. So, go to I naught, comma, non-terminal E from this I naught state. Okay. So, now the result as E dash tends to, so each time only one movement is allowed. So I am shifting this dot to here, so that I am writing E. So E dash tends to E dot. Okay. Likewise, see, for the non-terminal E, two production are present, right? So first thing completed, second production. Take second production, E dash tends to, here also non-terminal E will be present. So E dot plus T. Any other productions contains non-terminal E? Check it out once again. No, only two productions contains non-terminal E at the right side of the production. Okay. So now I consider this state as a I1 state. Thus, same state, whatever I naught is present, same state will be reflected in I1 in the sense, no need to give a new state number as I1, we can give I naught also. Okay. But here, this is a new state. So that I am giving the new state number as I1. Right here. So next one, likewise, now I am going to move the next state. I naught, comma, what is the non-terminal is present in right side. Check, these two production are completed. Then in this production, non-terminal T will be present. So I am going to move the non-terminal T. Take this production now. E tends to T dot. Okay. See, here also non-terminal T present. So we'll take this production also. T tends to, can you say what is the result? Yes. T dot star F. So this is a I2 state. Okay. Why I am mentioning as I2? Because of new production at present. So that I can make like a I2 state. So next one, go to this 4 production completed. Next production F. So I am moving I naught, comma F. Check for the F production. Yes, only one production contains. So T tends to F dot. This is a new state. So we make like I3 state. Okay. Likewise, we have to find up to till each production at the end. It will be reached at the end. For example, E dash tends to E dot. E tends to E plus T dot. Likewise, all the production, it will reach the end state. Up to that, we have to make all the go-to statement. Why I am doing this and that? Because of how to make a SLR parsing table creation. So this one, after I naught, yes, completed up to F production. Then we have to move for the terminal symbol. So I naught, comma terminal symbol open bracket. Yes, F tends to open dot E close bracket. See, while we are moving here, terminal values after movement of dot, it contains a non-terminal E in the sense, contains a non-terminal, whatever the value, non-terminal will be present in the sense that non-terminal production have to add from the I naught state. will explain you. E as after movement, non-terminal E present. So I am going to check from the I naught state. I am going to check from the I naught state E production. Whatever the E production is present here, check this one. Yes, this one. So I have to add here. E tends to dot E plus T. One more production. E tends to dot T. Okay. So after see this two state production. Now you can check after dot non-terminal T present. So again have to add the T production. So T tends to dot T star F, and one more production T tends to dot F. Now also having F as a non-terminal. So I am adding F non-terminal production. Now check non-terminal. After moment of dot production, terminal will be present, means we have to stop. Okay. If it is a non-terminal, I have to add the non-terminal production from the I naught state. If it is a terminal, stop the process. Okay. Now check whether it is a new state or existing state. It's a new state. So I am writing like a I4 state. Okay. The next one, yes, go to I naught comma open bracket completer, and the next one I naught comma ID. I naught comma ID. So now move I naught comma ID. What is the production? ID dot reach at end of ID. So this is a new state or existing state? This is a new state. So I can write like a I5 state. Okay. After this, now you can check all the production completed at the I naught state. Isn't it? Yes. Then we can move for the I1 state. Okay. So in that I1 state, yes, first production is reached as a end. First production reached at a end. Okay. See, like this. First production reached at end in the sense. This is a augmented grammar, right? So start symbol dash tends to start symbol dot in the sense. While making the table creation, we can write the I1 state comma dollar as accept state. I will explain again in the table creation process. Okay. So see the next production. This one I said. Okay. So see the next production. E tends to E dot plus T. It does not reach the, this dot does not reach at the end. So now we can take the state as I1. So go to I1 comma, what is the value here? That is the terminal value plus. Terminal value plus. So now we can move E tends to E dot, no, E plus dot T. Isn't it? So E tends to E plus dot T. Now check after dot movement, non-terminal T present. What is the rules of the non-terminal T will be present in the sense? What is the rule? Have to add the non-terminal T production from the I naught state. So T production dot T star F. T tends to dot F. Again for the F. F tends to E. F tends to ID. Okay, well, is this the new production or the existing one? Check from all the states. We have to check for the all the states. Yes, this is a new one. So you can make like I6 state. I6 state. Okay. Now likewise how to continue till at the end, so that I make it one more column to complete the process. So now I1 comma plus completed. For this production completed, we come for the I2 state. Okay. For the I2 state, first see this production, it reaches the end in the sense. See, for the star symbol dash means we can use accept state. Remaining production, it reaches at end in the sense we can use the reduced state for the SLR parsing table creation. Okay. So I will neglect this one. While making a parsing table, I have to add this one because dot ended. Okay. So left this one. Remaining dot. Next production. You can take a next production. This one. So what's the movement? I1 completed. So now I2. So go to I2 comma I2 state comma star terminal. Okay. So T tends to T star dot F. Okay. After movement F. So now we can add the F production from the I0 state. E, then ID. Is this a new state or existing state? Check. This is the new state. So I am writing this one as a I7 state. Okay. Now go for next one. Go to, so this production completed, this production moved, yes. Then this production is completed, yes. Now come for the I4 state. I4 state, first one non-terminal E. So go to I4 comma E. I4 comma non-terminal E. Okay. So I4 comma E. You can take F tends to open bracket E dot close bracket. This is the new state or existing state. After movement terminal result, so that we cannot add anything in this state. So this is a new state or existing. Check whether it is new state or existing. So this is a new state, so that we can write like a I8 state. Okay. So after I4 comma E, the next state as a, yes, is it correct? No, one more statement also is there, right? Production. So before that I can add one more production is present with the E dot plus T also. Isn't it? Because of one more production with the E. Two production are present. So I am writing two production. Okay. Now check whether it is after dot production, terminal only present. So this is the new state I8. This one completed, this one completed. Now this one. Yes. So go to I4 comma T. I4 comma T. After moment, E tends to T dot. E tends to T dot, and then T tends to T dot star F. Two production. These two. This is the new or existing. Check it. Yes, this is the existing state. So I am writing here as a existing state number as 2. Okay. Up to this completed. Now you can check next one. Go to I4 comma T completed, and then now F. So T tends to F dot. Is this new state or existing one? Yes, existing one. So I am writing here I3. Okay. So further Next one, go to I4 comma open bracket. So for this movement, yes, only one. So open bracket dot E, close bracket. After movement, non-terminal E present. So I have to add a E production from the I naught state. Dot E plus T. Next this one, E tends to dot T. Then add a T production. T production, what is the T production? T tends to dot T star F. Yes, yes. Then T tends to dot F, and then F tends to dot E. F tends to dot E, then F tends to ID. Isn't it? Yes. It's a new or existing? Exactly, yes. I4 state. Same thing, right? So I am writing the state number as I4. See, one more thing. If you are find the beginning itself is the new existing statements, you can write like go to I4 comma open bracket equal to I4 state. No problem, that is enough. Okay, if you are found in the sense. Otherwise, you can make it and then write it. Okay. So after this, open bracket completed, right? I4 comma open bracket completed. Yes. Then I4 comma. Yes. Is there any missing? I4 comma open bracket. Yes. This state open bracket after movement E is there. So I am writing E production. Yes, completed. The next one, go to I4 comma this one I completed that. I4 comma open brackets. Is there any missing? Go to I4 comma F completed. Yes. Then F. Yes, here. Up to this completed. I4 comma open bracket completed. Then one more thing. I4 comma ID. Yes, I am adding I4 comma ID. See here in the state F tends to ID dot. Is it new state or existing? I think this is existing, right? I5. So I am writing here I5. Okay. So now you have completed up to the I4 state. Okay. Now I5. I5 already at the dot present at the end. So leave this one. Okay. Now we can go for the I6 state. I6 state, comma, non-terminal T. I am going to do for erase this one. Completed up to I4 comma ID. So I5 and now we can go for the I6 state. Go to I6 state. So I6 comma, what is the value will be present? Non-terminal T. Okay, now so E tends to E plus T dot. Is there any another option? Is there? Check whether it is new. Any other production will be present or not. Movement as T. Yes. Another production also is present, right? With the T. Yes. T dot star F. Okay. Yes. T dot star F. The movement, how to check whether it is a terminal or a non-terminal. So this is a terminal value. So that's all. No need to add anything in that. So is this already present or not? It's a new state. So I am writing the new state number as I7. Okay, so this is a I7 state. So go to I6 comma T completed. Okay, the next one F. Now we can say the answer directly also, right? F. I6 comma F. What is the result? This one F dot. Reaches T tends to F dot F in the sense T tends to F dot. T tends to F dot, where is it present? I3. Can write directly also. If you know, you can write directly. Okay. The next one. This one, right? So go to I6 comma open bracket. So now F tends to dot E close bracket, then add a E production from the I0 state. T tends to dot T star F, T tends to dot F, F tends to E, F tends to ID. Yes, this is a new or existing. This is the new or existing only. So I4 state. Okay, now the next one. Go to I6 comma completed open bracket, right? I skip yes. Then ID. F tends to ID. Then result as F tends to ID dot. So ID moment F tends to ID dot is present at I5 state. So I am writing directly as a I5 state. So now I6 state completed. So I am going for the next state. I7. Yes, I7 comma star completed. Now yes, I7 comma F movement this state. So T tends to T star F dot. Correct? So F movement only one production is present. Is this a new or existing? Check the states. Is a new or existing? New state. So yeah, yes, I8 state. Correct? So next one, this production, that is open bracket. So go to I7 comma open bracket, that reflect the which state? If I am moving this one, F tends to open bracket dot E close bracket. Dot E in the sense have to add the E production. E tends to E plus T, E tends to T. So again it reflect which one? I4 state. So I am writing I4 state directly. Okay. So next one, go to I7 comma ID. I7 comma ID. What is the state? F tends to ID dot, that replicates which one? I5 state. So directly I am writing the result as I5. So next one, go to I7 completed. Now I8 state. I8 comma yes, I8 comma close bracket. That is a terminal value. So now I am moving this one. F tends to open bracket E close bracket dot. Okay, this state. Is this the new or existing? Check the states. New only. So I am writing the state number as 9. Now you can go to I8 comma close bracket completed. Now I8 comma plus. I8 comma plus. So what is the state? E tends to E plus dot T. So how to add a non-terminal T production from the I0 state dot T star F. E tends to dot F. F tends to E. F tends to ID.